Hello everyone, thank you for joining us on this live stream. My name is Lynn and we're coming to you live from the first ever Athletes Village for the Military World Games. So there's probably a running joke among my colleagues and the athletes that the Athletes Village is my second home for the last 2 weeks because I just keep wanting to come back. And there's a reason for it. I mean, this place you can just meet thousands of athletes from over 100 countries participating in over 20 sports. So it's amazing that you can gather so many people in just one place. And a new friend that I made today on the buggy, on the way back here, is actually Sven from Sweden. Sven, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. So Sven has got a very interesting history. He's a military pentathlon. I mean, he's been in military pentathlon for the last 30 years, right?
34 actually.
34 years.
I did my first competition in '86 and done one competition this year as well. And I've been in international competition since '88, and last competition was last year, so 31 years in international.
31 years is a long time. What keeps you going? I mean, military pentathlon is considered one of the toughest in the games.
Yes, I always ask myself the same question, but I think it's when you start with something you like it and you have so many friends, it's not easy to stop because it's so nice to come back every year and meet the international friends and still, it's nice things to still try to get fit even when you get old man. And I think it's nice. I enjoy to be in part of the sports for so many years.
When Sven and we were talking just now, I think he made a joke that people call him grandpa because he's been in the sport for so many years. And last year, you were 55 years old last year, where you took part in the games, right?
Yes, I was in the Nordic Championship, and actually I was number 6 in Sweden last year. And I was taking care about the Nordic Championship, but then one gets sick, so I got into the team and I was in the competitions the same time as I take care about the competition. And the 4 best after competition go to the team, get medals, and I was number 4 of the Swedes after the competition, so I got the bronze medal in Nordic Championship, 55 years old, and that was, even though I had a medal from World Champs 1991, I think that was cooler to do it now when I'm 55.
Exactly, yeah. 55 years old and a bronze medal.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my gosh, I cannot imagine when I'm 55 I'm able to do a sport like this. Now Sven, this is not your first time in China, right? You've been here before.
Yes, I was here in '88 traveling around. I started in Moscow with the Trans-Siberian Railway to Beijing, and I traveled around in China for 4 or 5 weeks, and then I went down to Malaysia, Thailand and Australia before I go home. And it's nice to come back now so many years later and see the big difference, what's happened in China for 30 years.
Could you maybe share with us what are the main differences that you have seen about China from 30 years back and right now?
I think the biggest thing is, I mean, there was no big house like this with 35 levels. I think, and you see old people in bikes and they were walking, and now there's so many cars. And I mean, the country is more used to people now. I remember I was staying in a bus 30 years ago. The people come to me and they said, "What's this? He has hair on his arms." They thought I was a monkey. But now, I mean, the Chinese people are used to the people from other countries now. But that days, there were not so many foreigners in China, so it's really a big difference now. I think it's really nice to see what happens here.
I can imagine you brought up a very interesting point that 30 years ago, perhaps there are not many foreigners in China, but the China today is so much more international, and it's hosting this sports right here, right in Wuhan. Yeah. How are you liking the venues? How are you enjoying yourself in these games?
This is incredible. I mean, military pentathlon is not the Olympic Games, so we've never been like in Olympic village like this, but this is really the same. I mean, like you said before, 109 countries, 9,000 people coming together and stay in the same little sport in China. It's crazy. And no one in future will do the same, I think, because no country can do it because there's so much money. But it's amazing. I really enjoy this one, and then go for this restaurant here is 20 different dishes. You can eat whatever you want. It's crazy. It's really a big thing.
You guys are pretty spoiled, having so many types of food dishes right there. Now, Sven, back to military pentathlon, right? It's very tough, and you have been participating in it for 30 years. How would you assess the development of the sport in terms of the quality from different countries and also China?
I think when I started, there were not so many countries professional. I think it was 2 or 3 countries, but now it's half of we have 30 countries in pentathlon, and half of them is professional or half professional. So the best have been really much better because they can do it for full time. But like in Sweden, we just do it for after work. So you don't have the same possibilities. When you work for 8-10 hours, then you go to train in the evening. You can't compare yourself to the people doing it full time. So the best would be better, but like for us in Sweden and most of the countries in Europe, the people don't train like I did for 30 years ago. We're not training 20 hours, 25 hours a week, even though we're working 50 hours. But today the people, there's so many choices. They go for computer and mobile phone. They don't train more, maybe 10 hours. So I don't think the quality to train pentathlon, all the people, all those different sports that have so much things you have to train, you don't get the same level in Europe like we did before.
So you're saying that the level of military pentathlon that you're observing has come down because people's attention span, they're distracted by so many other things. Is that right?
Yeah, I think that's the right in the countries don't have professional, but the professional, they get better. So there's been a bigger gap between professional that people do it for fun, but we're not professional. So that's a big difference, I think.
It's a big difference, and I think this is also common perhaps for other sports as well. I mean, right, as people have more choices, they would sort of divide their attention on different things. But I would just like to ask you, because military pentathlon has got a lot of similarities to the military life in terms of the skill sets that you apply in military life, right? So could you tell our audience, perhaps those who don't know much about military pentathlon, what are the core skill sets that you can actually transfer to your military life?
Yeah, but that's everything. I mean, you start with shooting. It's really good to be soldier who can shoot. And the obstacle course is, the obstacle course for the people who don't try, I think it's the most hardest thing you can do in the sports arena in the world. I mean, we have people who, when you get really tired, they met in the blood. There's no sports that get so much oxygen in the blood like in military pentathlons or obstacle course. So it's really hard. And if you do in this and you get hard and you get well trained, you can do so much better when you act with the soldiers and on the captain or what do you say, the chief. So I see many things that it's great to be a good sportsman, and it's the same with be a leader of the people in the army, for example. I think so many going together.
So just to quickly maybe just wrap things up right here, I know that it's raining right now, actually drizzling right now. So how has the sport shaped you as a person? You've done it for over 30 years. How has it shaped you?
I think if you do sport, you have to put some goals. You have to train because you want to reach those goals. And that's, even if you're civilian, if you're working hard, you have to have the goals. You know what to do to reach the goals. And that's, I think, the best thing with the heavy pentathlon or of every sport, because you get focused and you get really 100% what you're doing. And the most people today, well, I must say, but in Europe, they're a little bit lazy and they don't do what to do and then go out and do that and do that. But there's not 100% doing something for, like, I would say, when I was young, I was eating pentathlon, I was sleeping pentathlon, I was pentathlon in my mind 24 hours a day. You
are a true blue pentathlon athlete.
That's my life. I've been for so many years, so it's not easy to leave it.
Yeah, wow, you are the living dream of pentathlon. But like you said, the discipline has probably come down. And we should all probably try to get that back, right?
Yeah. But it's not easy because the people don't want to train that much as you need. It's easy to go out to run or for take a bike or for swim, but do 5 different disciplines or like 10 disciplines. You need to train a lot. And if you can't do it for full time because you get paid, it's not easy to work 50 hours and then go train after that. You must be a little bit crazy, I must say, and I have been that for many years now.
Wow. And with that, Sven, I'm just going to say hats off to you. Okay. Over 30 years in military pentathlon, definitely not easy. Thank you for spending time with us.
Thank you.
Maybe thank you.
Thank you.
How do you say thank you in Swedish for our audience?
Tack så mycket. Tack så mycket.
Let me try that. Is it tack så mycket?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Yeah. Great. And with that, thank you so much, Sven. Have a great time. See you. So that was Sven from Sweden, a military pentathlon athlete, seasoned athlete. So, it's great to be able to speak to him. Now, this village is vast. It's as huge as almost 80 football fields. It's drizzling right now, so we probably can't take you on a tour, but this is a short piece to give you a little taste of what goes around in the village. The Athletes Village for the 7th Military World Games is really where athletes gear up and unwind after a training and competition day. There is so much to explore here, and I hope this short piece does it justice. Since it's a sports event, you're likely to find tons of people at the field. Here, I'm seeing athletes from many different countries doing some light training. And just a short walk up is the gym. It's usually jam-packed with people, but of course. I just saw you just now. You had really good kicks.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're from Nepal, yeah? And it's your first time participating in the games.
Yeah. It's our first time.
What would you say that you have achieved from this Military World Games?
We achieved the friendship between all army. We can connect the world here. So from Nepal to Australia, US, America, Canada, we connect here.
And of course, refueling energy is key. We're not allowed to enter the athletes' canteens because of security reasons. But I heard there are 100 types of food dishes from various cuisines. Let's try and see if we can catch an athlete who's coming out. Okay, here we have one. Hello.
Hello.
Where are you from?
We're from Greece.
From Greece.
Yeah.
So what did you have for lunch and what's your favorite on the menu?
I had for lunch some spicy chicken and vegetable and cold dishes from Chinese food. And my favorite, of course, is the fried shrimps with coconut that I ate yesterday. It was great.
The village is also very functional. You can get your mobile and banking stuff done here at the commercial service street. Hello.
Hey.
Where are you from?
I'm from Sweden.
Sweden. Good dog. Is that how you say hello?
Yeah, good dog is right.
Do you use WeChat?
No, we don't. No, I don't at all. No.
Oh, at all, yeah? But do you post anything on social media for your folks back home?
Yes, I'm trying to post on Instagram to show what we do here and to show this event because it's quite a big deal.
It is. Can you show us what you have posted?
Sure.
Great. Now this family entertainment center seems to be quite popular with the athletes as well. Let's check it out. Hi guys.
Hey, how you doing?
What are you doing?
Oh, we good. We just out here playing.
He losing, that's what he doing. He losing.
Well, they're having too much fun right here. And finally, one of my favorite spots here is definitely the Garden Cafe. Apparently, athletes are allowed to have a drink or two during the games, but not when they're competing though, surely. Hi guys, mind if I join you?
Yeah, of course.
Great.
Good evening.
Good evening, you're from Slovakia.
Yeah.
Are you having fun here?
Yeah, definitely. We have fun.
What is it about the Athletes Village that you like the most?
What we like the most, the organization of the Athlete Village. Everything is almost perfect. The food, the structure and the stuff.
Almost perfect indeed, and it almost makes me wish I were an athlete too. Lynn Tang, CGTN, Wuhan. Thank you for staying with us. We're still coming to you live from the first ever Athletes Village of the 7th Military World Games. And now I have with me a second athlete who's from Russia. Hello, it's Ilya, right? Ilya, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. It was my second time in China. I was first time in China on this year at 18th May on Diamond League. Diamond League, yeah, it's right. I was third place on this competition, but on seventh year military game, I was won this competition.
Oh, you won?
Yeah, I won. Yeah, thank you very much.
Could you tell our audience what exactly did you participate in and how did you find the games overall?
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah. Track and field.
Track and field, yeah, I'm high jumper, but very unfortunately on my competition weather was not good, was very rainy, and I can't jump very good. Yeah. And we unfortunately finish on 220 bar. Yeah. So I'm happy to win this competition. It's very important for my country, and this competition for me was very important because I can
Make friends, maybe?
no friends. On this season, we can't compete on competition with Russian flag. On this competition, we can compete with Russian flag. You know?
Yes. So you
it's
represent your country.
Yeah, it's very important for me.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, over 100 countries participating in the Military World Games. So it's your second time in China, right?
Yes.
I mean, and this village has got so many other athletes. Are you enjoying yourself here so far?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it because it's very, very good.
Like which part is good?
Yeah, we have many friends here. It's very important for
Friendship through
yeah,
sport.
friendship. Yeah, it's very important. Yeah, thank you.
How do you say hello in Russian?
Oh, привет, hello, привет.
Привет, that's hello, right? And thank you in Russian?
Спасибо, сесе.
Spasiba. So we are broadcasting live on our social media platforms. So your friends back home can actually catch us on YouTube, on Facebook. Yeah. Get them to tune in.
Oh, sorry, what?
Get them to actually watch you.
I can speak something in Russian, yeah?
Yeah.
Всем привет, кто меня смотрит. Пойдем сегодня болеть за наших ребят на легкую атлетику. Thank you. Спасибо.
Can you translate that for us in English?
Today we will go into stadium to funds for our athletes. Yep, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Spasiba, Ilya. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
So this games is also a great platform for different countries to share their cultures and also the ways in which they approach the sports. And sailing is one of them. I had the opportunity to speak some of the athletes from sailing, so I hope you enjoy this piece. Bianca Caruso, a 23-year-old in the Italian Navy who has traveled the world to compete in sailing. Here at the Military World Games in Wuhan, Caruso plays the role of a crew member. She doesn't steer the boat, she sets the sails, known as jibbing. It's Caruso's first time in China, but not her first time in competing with the Chinese.
Well, Chinese are really, I think they are really humble sailors. They're really quiet, they're really always focused on what they're doing. So I think what we can learn from them is for sure that as Italians, we are more kind of jokers. So it's fine to learn from them this, the opposite part.
And vice versa, the Chinese say there is much to learn from the international athletes too. Hu Rong is an ex-professional sailor turned trainer. She described it as their exquisite way of approaching the sport. It's in the way they team up so well and get each other silently.
It's because of their love for the sport that comes from within, and they do things with feelings. When they align with their boats, the 470s, they do it with attention to detail. We Chinese can also learn from the international athletes in how to just simply enjoy the process of competing. That and their flexibility in changing roles on the boat.
Ways of doing things aside, there is much to learn from sailing the sport itself. Hu Rong says the most important skill required is adaptability for any wind or water conditions.
This is the number one thing I teach my students, because when you have the ability to adapt well, you can change your techniques to navigate different environments. In sailing, adaptability can make up for what you lack in physical strength.
13 countries are participating in sailing in Wuhan, and traditional powerhouses are looking at the games beyond just winning.
It's not the war, it's sport and friendship. We can talk to meet in time with all teams. If we win, it's very good, but the first part is to the respect of the other team. The equity is very important for us.
A friend who was a competitive sailor once told me, when sailing, you may be enemies with your opponents on the sea, but when you're on the shore, you're friends. And this really ties into the aim of the Military World Games. You compete on the field, but the broader message of peace shined through. Lynn, Tang, CGTN, Wuhan. So I really enjoyed doing this sailing story because, the Italians, the Chinese, both of them actually say that they have so much to learn from each other, and that's why this, platform such as the Military World Games is really useful. And to me, at least as a journalist, I think it has served its purpose. Now, I would like to bring in another athlete, a female one. Hello.
Hello.
Where are you from?
I'm from Slovak Republic.
Slovak Republic. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Could you tell our audience what sport did you participate in and how did it go?
Yes, I do athletics, I'm a runner, and I run 5 kilometers on track here.
5 kilometers. How would you say that, I mean, are you having fun? Did you fare well in the competition?
Yes, but the competition not go like my plan was, but I enjoy it and the atmosphere was very good, everything was great here.
What did you enjoy the most from the games?
Because people here, they are very great, they are very friendly and from every nations.
From every nation, over 100 countries,
Yes,
right?
yes, it's great.
What is your most memorable moment? I mean, you spent over 2 weeks here in Wuhan. So what is your most memorable moment?
Maybe the opening ceremony, it was great. I never logged this and it was experience for my life.
Experience of your life. Oh my God, I'm so glad to hear that. The opening ceremony, right? I've heard that from many countries as well.
Yes, it was very great.
Very great.
Wonderful.
Great. So we are broadcasting, worldwide on our social media, like YouTube, Facebook, and also our, Chinese Weibo, which is our social media. Is there anything, you would like to say to your friends and family back home?
I don't know, only thank you for everything here and for everything, really.
You look very young. Do you mind if I ask you how old are you?
Yes, I'm 24.
24?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Lucia, right?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. So we are actually at the entrance of the, the Athletes Village, the homes where they live in. So as you can see, it's really, I've been inside. It's beautiful. It's comfortable. Almost 2,000 apartment units for almost 10,000 athletes. Now, there are 27 sports that are being competed right here at the Games. Golf is one of them. Like for me, when I pitched this story, I was like, why would golf actually be part of the Games? Like, what relevance is there? So here's a short piece to actually highlight why golf is as relevant as any other sports in the Military World Games. It's a rather quiet sport, one that has you competing against yourself. You hit 100 balls a day to improve your game, but anything can happen on the course. Compared to the other intensive obstacle sports, some may wonder why golf is an event at the Military World Games.
Golf has brought me a lot, personally and in the job, because it teaches you to be really humble, to be honest with yourself, because if you make a mistake, it's nobody's fault but yours. And in the military world, if you can't just look at yourself and say, okay, that's me and I'm this and I have to do this, I think you won't go anywhere. So
golf is not typically a military sport, but you learn to be patient, to concentrate, because you have four and a half hours to walk on the course, and you have to concentrate on every shot you are making.
Many here have competed worldwide, but this is their first time in China. They say the greens in Wuhan are different and tougher. The grass is longer and grainier, making it difficult to putt. There is also more water, in which precision is key, but the players are welcoming the challenges. As they say, men talk business on the golf course. Well, the same could be said here at the Military World Games, although it may be a different kind of business. Players from 3 different countries are grouped together. They then spend over 4 hours playing an 18-hole game. I mean, just how much can you get to know each other in this window of time? Apparently, a lot.
To meet different people with other cultures, you can talk about their family, about their homes, what they do at home. We're all in the army, but we're a different part of the army we're working, so that's nice to talk about it.
15 countries are participating in golf in Wuhan. China is not one of them.
You've got one of the best Chinese players. He's the first Chinese, I think. Tang is a fantastic player. He's in all the PGA Tour events. He's making great results. No, never. Maybe one day. I hope so.
As players end the game at the 18th hole, here's a simple act to mark what is perhaps the start of a lifelong friendship. Lynn, CGTN, Wuhan. Rope picking. Throwing a thin line. Then tying its end to the thick rope with a bow tie knot. The athletes then jump into the boats and start rowing. This is the Seamanship Race. It's one of the 5 events in the Naval Pentathlon in the Military World Games. Every challenge here at the Seamanship Race has a meaning to the Navy. So these are the ropes that the athletes were dragging earlier at the beginning part of the race. They're pretty heavy, so they were tested because this has real-life meaning to the Navy, where you're supposed to tie the boat to the dock. Not all the athletes are, strictly speaking, what we might think of as sailors. Cecilia works as a part-time chef in the Swedish Army. She's been competing in the Naval Pentathlon for 10 years now.
It has given me friendship, and that's the most important thing. I would not have done this for 10 years if it wasn't for my Swedish friends that are people I love, absolutely adore, and my friends in the Naval Pentathlon team from all over the world. They're friends forever, and that's why it makes this sport so special.
It makes me feel like I have another family. Yeah, and I can compete with them, but then we can be like best friends. So yeah, this is the best in sport.
Team China are making Military World Games Naval Pentathlon debut. They may be a latecomer to the game, but they say they've learned a lot from interacting with athletes from around the world.
International athletes are relatively stronger than us, but we are more nimble and have a good sense in certain areas. We didn't have a coach for this event, so initially we downloaded videos from the 6th Military World Games and information from international websites, and learned and practiced from international athletes. The performance of Chinese today is built on hard work and sweat.
Traditionally strong Nordic countries hail China's debut and the competition venue.
The females are very fast, they have very good techniques, and also the male are doing very good. Here at the naval base, it's a very nice facility, and we have been very well taken care of, and it's nice to visit China. It's my first time, and I hope to come back.
The men's competition has an added obstacle. They first have to climb a sails pole and mount sticks that hold the sails on old ships. Athletes zigzag their way through 5 buoys, disconnecting and connecting a rigged shackle with a chain, then finally racing to the finishing line. Tough as it may be, with your teammates cheering you on, perhaps nothing can beat the spirit of friendship. Lynn, CGTN, Wuhan. Thank you for staying with us, and we have, our final 2 guests for today's stream. They're from the Netherlands. You bumped into your friends right there.
Yeah.
From which country?
From the USA, and she bumped into the light.
How did you meet them?
Via the golf. She joined the girls' competition.
So all golf, yeah? Okay, so guys, we've got 2 golf players right here from Holland. Say hello to our audience.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Ni hao, ni hao.
They are very good in their Chinese right now. They go around saying ni hao to people. So, right, so a lot of people may not think golf as, like a military sport, but it's actually very relevant, and you guys have played it for many years. Could you share your experience and your thoughts in terms of how the game itself has shaped you as a person?
It's you have to be focused all the time. It's 4.5 hours round. You stay focused. You have to have a good technique, and also when it's going not that well, you have to move on. Stay in the moment. Just don't think of the bad shots. Don't think what's coming. Just stay in the shots.
That is very easy to say, right? I mean, you don't think about a past. You just keep moving on. But how do you actually apply that in golf and in life? I'm going to ask you this.
Yeah, that's a very good question. Because sometimes, it's easy, you just do it. Other times you have no clue how. And you're waiting for the round to be finished, but that's it. I think one of the best things with golf is CISM is friendship through sport. And we made many friends on the golf course. As you just witnessed, the girls from America like, hi, so yeah, it's great. It's great to be here.
Yeah. And how many, if I may ask, right, how many new friends have you made this time, and from how many countries?
That's difficult questions. We went this day to the badminton tournament. It was very nice. We cheer for the Polish girls and Polish team. And so we made friends with them, so it was very nice to meet them. And some other countries in the
Even North
dinner.
Korean yesterday.
Yeah,
we met some North Korean people. I mean, I'd never expected to meet North Korean people,
And you
but
met them right here in the
actually,
games.
yeah, exactly. And we had a small talk. It was hard because they didn't speak English,
Yes.
and my
So how
North
did you
Korean
communicate?
isn't that very good. But one of them spoke a few words English,
Right.
so we end up like having conversation like.
So just smile, right? Because your
Smile
body
and,
language says a lot. Yeah?
And we shook hands, and that's kind of it. But yeah, we try to communicate a little bit via the phone. That helps, you know. You've got the applications.
The
that
translation?
exactly.
Oh, wow. Communicating via your app, translation app. Right.
sometimes, yeah.
So this is a multi-sport event, right? So you've got 27 sports from like so many countries.
Yeah.
How big is the delegation from Holland? How many people?
Almost 170.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ish. Yeah, I think it's a bit less. Some got injured just before the games, so let's say it's somewhere in between 160 and 170.
Is this your first time in China for the both of you?
Yeah, for me it is.
For me, not. No, I've been in China in 2008.
For the Olympics?
Yeah, exactly. Not competing, just as a spectator.
I was about to ask you, were you a competitor?
No. Yeah, boxing. Yeah.
But is it quite similar, the Beijing Olympics, to this one right here? In terms of the organization?
Actually, to me, yes. You know, I've seen that as a spectator, and I think it was to me equal as big. You know, like they had their own village, they had the sporting venues were amazing. I remember the volunteers. Well, the volunteers are super here. I mean, that's unbelievable. So it's China. You know, it's big. It's a lot. It's amazing.
And Aaron, your first time in China, right?
Yeah,
in
it is.
Wuhan, in fact.
Yeah, also. Yeah.
How would you describe China? How would you describe Wuhan? How would you describe the games?
It was very well organized. Everything was good. The food, and like Ida said, with the volunteers, they arranged everything. If you have questions, you can ask them, and they arrange it. And also, it's very clean here, so it's very nice to see the environment over here and enjoy the city we're living in. It's very nice here. Very good.
It's nice to hear that, because having a good living environment actually makes a lot of difference in terms of your performance during the competition, right?
Yeah, it's very important to have a nice area. The venue we played is very nice, and the air is very clean, so you can get good results. And we did.
That's the next. So let me do this. That's the next question. Did you get that?
Oh, he's trying to be a journalist right now. Trying to take my job right now. Just kidding. Okay, so we broadcast worldwide on our YouTube, Facebook. How do you say hello in your language?
You already said it. Hello.
In Holland. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you.
Dankjewel.
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 Yeah.
Dankjewel. Dankjewel.
Almost.
Almost. Dankjewel. I'm going to keep practicing.
Dank u wel is more polite.
Exactly.
Okay, great. And with that, dankjewel, Arjen and Ide. Thank you so much, and have a great time.
We will.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
So the games will end tomorrow, the closing ceremony, and as the aim of the games, right, friendship through sports. And I myself, as a journalist, I have made many friends from many countries. So I think really it's a great platform, not just to, just connect with the world, because especially in the army, it's so important when it comes to peacekeeping, right? When you meet, say, other soldiers, other army in a different country, you want to be connected, you want to get things done. So that's it from me right here, Waylin, at the Athletes Village, the first ever for the Military World Games.